federal agent fatally shot a man in Minneapolis this weekend. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn, in for Hannah Jewell. It's Monday, January 26th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. On Saturday, a U.S. Border Patrol agent shot and killed Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old intensive care nurse. A post-analysis of videos captured the incident from several angles. It found that as many as 8 agents were attempting to detain Preddy, wrestling him to the ground. It also shows that agents had already secured a handgun Preddy was carrying by the time they fatally shot him. The analysis raises questions about Trump administration officials' account of the incident. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said the agent opened fire in defense because he feared for his life. Preddy's death is fueling further outrage in Minneapolis, which was already on edge after weeks of protests against ICE deployments and the fatal shooting of Renee Good. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz called on President Trump to pull ICE out of the state.
We are tired, but we're resolved. We're peaceful, but we'll never forget. We're angry, but we won't give up hope. And above all else, we are clearly unified. If it was the intention of Donald Trump to make an example of Minnesota, then I'm damn proud of the example that the world's seeing. We believe in law and order in this state. We believe in peace. And we believe that Donald Trump needs to pull these 3,000 untrained agents out of Minnesota before they kill another person. And we're up here telling another story of a Minnesotan just trying to live their life without the interference.
Meanwhile, a majority of House Democrats are pushing the chamber to consider impeaching Noem following the latest shooting. The colossal winter storm has passed, but extreme cold is still a danger. That's number 2. Over the weekend, a winter storm barreled across huge parts of the nation, dumping snow and ice from Oklahoma to the deep south to New England. The giant system knocked out power to more than 1 million customers, caused deaths in multiple states, and ground travel to a halt. The good news is that the storm is departing today. However, surges of dangerous and record-breaking cold are expected to arrive. As of early this morning, cold weather alerts were in effect for about 135 million people across the U.S. east of the Rocky Mountains. So be sure to check your forecast before heading out today. Number 3. President Donald Trump will try again this week to reset his affordability agenda. Trump's attempts to show Americans he cares about their struggles with rising costs began last month when he went to Pennsylvania to talk about affordability, but instead mocked Democrats who used the term. Next, he went to Detroit to tout efforts to revive manufacturing. But again, he called affordability a fake word by Democrats. Then, on a trip to Davos last week, he unveiled a new domestic housing policy. But that was overshadowed by stoking a crisis over his desire to wrest control of Greenland. This week, the president will give it another go. Trump will give a speech tomorrow in Des Moines, focusing on energy and the economy. Although the economy has grown steadily in recent months, there are increasing signs of concern. Employers are hiring fewer people, wage growth is slowing, and credit card delinquencies are rising. Trump's focus on the economy reflects an effort to avert what even he has acknowledged could be a difficult midterm election in November. President Trump is ramping up his lawsuits against the media. That's number 4. Trump called the media the enemy of the American people in a social media post a month after he was first sworn in as president in 2017. Since then, both in his personal capacity and as president, he has taken aim at media outlets and personalities he dislikes. This month, the FBI executed a search warrant on the home of a Washington Post reporter. Newsroom leaders condemned it as a threat to the First Amendment rights of reporters. In his personal capacity, both before and after his election to a second term, Trump has turned to litigation against media outlets. He has filed a flurry of lawsuits alleging that media companies have defamed him and marred his reputation. 2 of the first lawsuits Trump filed against ABC and CBS were settled for millions of dollars. The Post is keeping a running tally of where Trump's lawsuits against media companies stand. Find it in our newsletter today. As always, just follow the link in our show notes. Number 5. The matchup is set for Super Bowl 60. It's the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Yes, the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. They beat the Denver Broncos 10-7 yesterday in an AFC championship game marked by dueling defensive dominance and wintry weather. The NFC championship game in Seattle was much more fast-paced. The Seahawks beat the Los Angeles Rams 31-27 in a thrill ride. Here's the moment the Seahawks secured victory.
8 seconds left. Loading up near side. Nakua, is he out of bounds?
Oh, my God.
With 3 seconds.
He's
They're going to run the clock. That's going to do it. The Seahawks soar to Super Bowl 60.
Now we wait 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. It will be a rematch. The Patriots beat the Seahawks to win their 4th Super Bowl in 2015. The big game is Sunday, February 8th in Santa Clara, California. It will air on NBC, and Bad Bunny will headline the halftime show. Number 6. Your stove could be damaging your health. Using a gas stove to make your food at home could be putting you and your family at risk. Nitrogen dioxide is a toxic byproduct of burning gas, and according to researchers, longer-term exposure about safe limits can increase rates of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and other health problems. When working out just how dangerous your gas stove is, lots of factors, such as the type of home you live in, how often you cook, and even where you live can make a real difference. You can use our calculator to work out the risk in your own kitchen. Just click the link to the newsletter. Number 7. There are cheap, low-tech ways to make your drinking water healthier. Do you drink bottled water or tap? Many people think drinking bottled water is a healthier option. Sometimes it has fewer contaminants in it, but doing so can also expose you to higher levels of microplastics. Experts estimate that people who only drink bottled water could be ingesting an extra 90,000 microplastics every year. For people who only drink tap water, that number is more like 4,000. While scientists are still researching the dangers of all those microplastics, it's worth trying to cut them out. The best way to get contaminants out of your water is with a reverse osmosis filtration system, but those can set you back up to $600. So we have compiled a list of cheap, low-tech things you can do for safer drinking water. The easiest one is that you should never drink bottled water that's been sitting in a hot car. That's because heat makes microplastic leach into the water. The next tip is to actually change your pitcher filter on schedule. If you leave changing it too long, it's no longer effective. Sorry to add yet another thing to your to-do list. That's the show for today. Thanks for listening. If you like the podcast, a great way to support our work is through a subscription to The Washington Post. A monthly subscription is only 50 cents a week for the first 6 months. Subscribe to the Post by going to washingtonpost.com/subscribe. All right, you're all caught up. I'm Christina Quinn. We'll meet you back here tomorrow.